Good morning, Baltimore.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Good morning, Baltimore. From the Baltimore Tech Breakfast.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Good morning, Baltimore.
If you're not here, you should be. So see you at the next one. Well, thank you. This is now our, I think, 12th or maybe 13th, something like that, Baltimore Tech Breakfast. So thank you all so much. This has really become an amazing thing. First and foremost, I want to thank AOL and their absolutely fabulously wonderful space. These guys are amazing here at advertising.com. They've been so gracious to provide us this space. We have a new sponsor for this one. We have the Open Range Video folks. Look at this amazing setup. I don't even know what to say about this thing. This is like amazing.
Thanks, Ron, very much for allowing us to come down, be the sponsor. We are Open Range Video is a new company. We're about 2 years old. We're locally based in Baltimore. If you have any, thoughts about future video, and you're just thinking about, maybe you want to think outside the box, you don't know what you want to do, but you have an idea, feel free to pick up the phone, call us, email us, sit down, we can brainstorm together, and I think the nice thing about it is you'll see that just about every type of budget can be worked with.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Rewerts. I'm an attorney with Bowie & Jensen. We have an office in Towson, Maryland, as well as New York City. We can handle all your legal needs, transactional litigation. Also, we can help protect your intellectual property, trademarks, copyrights, and patents, as well as any any employment agreements, and we also do estates and trust work. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by. I'm sitting in the back there. We also have a newsletter that we send out quarterly, so feel free to sign up for that or drop off your business card and we can put you on that list. Thanks very much.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for sponsoring.
I'm John Farkowski. Some of you might know me already as JT, but I'm a financial advisor with Merrill Lynch in Baltimore. That's my partner, Andrew Wetlinger, who's presenting today. Andy is actually one of you. He's an entrepreneur himself and presenting, but on his day job and my only job, we're wealth management advisors out of Baltimore, and obviously we're wholly owned by the great Bank of America, and so they can help with all your banking needs, and somewhere down the line we can help with asset management, retirement plans, financial planning, and the whole deal. So give us a call if you need anything. Thanks.
Samiha, I wanted to give you a moment here. Samiha designed we had a logo contest last month. For those of you that may remember, we had a previous logo that was really quite shabby. And Samiha won our logo contest, and she did a fabulous job. And one of the prizes is that she got an opportunity to talk about herself. So let me give you that.
Hi, like Ron said, I'm Samia Brickelmeyer, and I own The Inked Leaf. We're a graphic design and writing marketing firm,
Yes.
and we offer presentations, logo design, marketing material to small businesses and startups. So if you are interested in any more information, come find me afterwards and I'll give you a business card. Thank you.
Good job. Other than that, let's get the show started. So the way that the Baltimore Tech Breakfast works, we have a whole bunch of showcases, as we like to call them, companies, people who are doing interesting, awesome things. I want to show you guys what they're doing. They've got about 7 minutes or so to do their thing. And you have 3 minutes of Q&A. We have some microphones set up because it's recording. We encourage you, if you got questions and comments, criticisms, concerns, to just go up there, say your thing, so that way it can be recorded, and that way everybody can hear it. Otherwise, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and you're on.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock. Let's start the day with a little memory exercise, okay? How many people had lunch yesterday? Raise your hand. Come on, don't be shy. Raise them high. How many people had lunch? Leave them up. Keep them up. Leave them up if you ate lunch alone or with the same person you always eat lunch with next to you in the office. Okay, pretty good share. You're my target market, half of my target market. Does anyone recognize this building? Speak up. This guy, anybody else have it? Someone said the Apple building, Apple headquarters. Someone else have it? Anybody else? Okay, this is the Apple headquarters. Thanks. Steve Jobs. Oh. Nice shot. Steve Jobs said that having 12 employees, having employees spread over 12 locations was hurting corporate morale because they couldn't have lunch together. They couldn't share ideas, they couldn't collaborate, and it was hurting innovation. That's what he told the Cupertino Town Council when he sought permission to build the building. This corporate environment is the other half of my target market. There's the problem. You're at work, right? Or you need new clients, you need to expand your business, you're thinking about a new job, you just want new ideas to bring to the business environment to make yourself more productive. So what do? All right? So there's traditional networking, but traditional networking is limited opportunities. You can't control when events are scheduled. You have little or no control over who you're going to meet. Sometimes you don't meet anybody useful. You spend an hour and a half there. Maybe you meet 3 or 4 people, if that, out of a whole room of people. Sometimes it costs big bucks to attend. I know people in New York who spend $100, $75, $100 to go to some of these events. They're just not the best way to network. They're a useful tool, but not the best way. And when we're in a job, we sometimes get lazy and complacent. Okay, we're like, oh, everything's good. We should always be networking, even if job is going well, because your network is your insurance policy. When you get let off, or something happens, you might get a severance or something like that. But your network is there to help you. So always be expanding your network. Okay, so if you have lunch with new people and you do it repeatedly, you're going to have new career and business opportunities. It's inevitable. It's your break. The company's giving it to you. All right. I mean, some people don't take lunch so they can leave early, but basically your company's giving it to you. Use it to your advantage. That's why I created Down for Lunch. It's a free, self-directed professional networking service. It doesn't have to be lunch. You can set up a coffee in the morning or after work. All right? You set the match criteria for meeting other professionals based on location, industry, level of experience, age, and gender. We say gender because some women may want to only meet with women, some guys may only meet with guys, whatever the preference may be. You create or you join lunches with matching professionals. You can sign up with your LinkedIn, your Facebook account, and that shortens the registration time because we populate your profile with the information from those accounts. We'll take your industry from LinkedIn, we'll take your avatar, your picture from Facebook. How it works, you get down for lunch in one of 3 ways, or any of 3 ways, I should say. Create an open lunch. Only people who match your preferences can see your open lunch. You can target invite a match to lunch. So those are the avatars. If you hover over those avatars on the website, it'll pop up their profile, a summary profile. You can click for more information, or you can invite them to lunch. These are the people that match your profile. Or you can create an open lunch that anyone matching can join. And you can invite people to lunch by email. Okay? So those people, if they're not members, put in anyone's email address. In order to join your lunch, they'll have to join Down for Lunch first. It's a way that we're using our user base to grow the user base. And we also read your GCal. If you link your account to GCal, we'll read your GCal when you're scheduling a lunch, so you don't have to flip back to your Google Calendar and see if you're free. We'll tell you if you're free. And what we're trying to do is get GCal to automatically schedule lunches between matching professionals. But for some reason, if you're not logged into our website, we can't read GCal. You have to be logged in. So if anyone has a workaround in this room of tech people, skilled people, if anyone knows a way to work around that, please let me know. We're trying to figure that out. This is your calendar dashboard. I happen to have a profile opened up on the calendar, but within the calendar dashboard, there are 3 types of lunches: open pending lunches, available lunches, and booked lunches. Pending lunches are when you've invited someone to lunch specifically, but they haven't yet responded. That'll turn red when they do. Clicking on available lunch opens up the profile of the person who created that lunch. So I clicked on the yellow lunch on May 29th, and this guy's profile showed up. Additional features. When 2 people go to lunch, they've spent half hour or an hour with each other, and they know about each other, and that value needs to be shared with other people. So when someone is positively rated, we populate it onto the scrolling lunch reviews on the homepage. So then helping other users decide who to have lunch with. We also post automated posts to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn to publicize us, activity on the site, and our restaurant partners. Our restaurant partners get preferred placement on the website. They appear on the featured restaurant screen. They have their own profile page, and they can post their logo, a tagline, or web address. And they get prominent placement on the scheduled lunch page. And they can offer coupons. And we give them monthly feedback of the visitor feedback from the experience that they had at the restaurant and the demographics on who's visiting them, from where they are, what industries they're in. Future enhancements, this is my last slide. Future enhancements. We're going to offer premium featured for individual users. If you're having lunch, if you're a technologist and you're having lunches with developers and you want to create a group of just back-end developers, this would be where you could do that, and we might charge for that. We're going to have mobile apps, so that we're going to have mobile apps, and we're going to have LinkedIn integration, because that's a community of people that are ready to network, and this would be an added service to the LinkedIn community. We're going to have subdomains, so people can have their own private down for lunch community. We're going to roll this out to conferences. You know, if you don't want the 2 o'clock session, don't go sit in the lobby and check your email. Go network during that conference. So we're going to roll this out to different professional organizations so they can use it at their conferences. And that drives return attendance to those conferences. And we're going to roll it out to corporations to facilitate collaboration. So just to close, this was in the Wall Street Journal last week. Companies are paying innovation consultants $300,000 to $1 million a project. Have a budget up to $10 million. Here's a very affordable networking tool to foster collaboration internally that's not going to cost them $10 million. And it's much more effective maybe than what the GSA tried recently with their bicycle building exercise. Thank you very much. And we're also looking for talent, so if you know people that fit those criteria, send them our way.
Awesome. Good job. Awesome. So we got our questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, kumquats, cucumbers. Don't make me go down that list. Bring it on. Well, I got a question for you. I know that there's a similar service, or at least it sounds to be similar, called Let's Lunch that I used when I went to the West Coast and I was trying to meet some folks when I was networking over there. There's another one called Grub With Us, which is a different model. That's more like you go to a restaurant and you sign up and you have a whole bunch of people you can have dinner with or lunch with or whatever with. So how does this compare with that?
Well, Grub With Us is basically, they do have some professional aspect to it, but it's mostly a social opportunity. Mm-hmm. You just show up, you have no idea who's going to be there. Or you can see their RSVPs, but you don't know much about them. And Let's Lunch is one of our main competitors, but they're focused on certain cities, and we're focused on other cities.
Cool. And you guys are located?
We're Washington, D.C. based.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for coming up. Yeah, Eli, hey, just grab the mic somewhere. There you go. Yep. You got an next one. That's right.
Just curious, since it's all web-based, you said you're focused on certain cities. Is there a reason to focus on certain cities versus just blast it out?
I've been in Washington, D.C. for about 15 years, and it's a city. It's all about who you know and how big your Rolodex is, and people are always, lobbyists are trying to make contacts, and there's just a lot of transients. So we're focused on that city to begin with, and we haven't really decided. Anyone can sign up. First of all, it's live, and it's anywhere, so anyone can sign up anywhere. We're just, for budget purposes, focusing on one city at a time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Great. Any other questions? Okay, Scott. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Awesome job. Sign up for lunch while you're waiting.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Messenger, and I'm the founder of a company called Common Curriculum. We do social lesson planning. So the company is founded by myself and my friend Robbie. Currently, Robbie this morning is teaching in West Baltimore. I taught in Baltimore City for 4 years, then taught myself to code. I write curriculum with the school district, and I created this product to solve the problems that I found both at the classroom level, at the district level, and at the state level. So there are three problems facing teachers and districts I want to go through. So one is that teachers and districts are all looking to save time in the process of planning curriculum. Second, they're looking to share and collaborate with each other, teacher to teacher and then district to district. And lastly, they're looking to find other resources. So this is how curriculum works right now. I mean, the root problem of all these is that there's no simple, efficient way to both create and share curriculum. So this is how it works for a teacher's life. The teacher has student materials, worksheets, lesson plans. This might be from a book, a published book. Then they create a series of lessons. Then they create a weekly calendar, which says what lessons they're doing on which days. And they create a monthly calendar. And these are, of course, all connected, is that the lessons reference student materials, and then the lessons reference the weekly calendar, and the weekly calendar references the monthly calendar. And of course, the monthly calendar references the lessons. So if you're to change one of the lessons, let's say there's a school day or a snow day, you need to bump out all of your lessons, you'd have to rename every single file. You'd have to recreate every single weekly grid. You'd have to redo every single monthly calendar because they're all in just words. You'd have to go and erase it, recreate it, move the rows around, and it's a very static and inflexible system. But this isn't their only problem. They also need to connect to colleagues, administrators, and students and parents. And so they need to get the student materials to students and parents, and then you get them to the colleagues. And they also need to get the lessons to the colleagues so they can share and find the resources. And they also need to get them to the administration. The administration can give feedback and comments. But the problem is that all this is in Word, which isn't collaborative. It's not social. It's all really static and then inefficient. So the student materials, the lessons, the weekly calendar, the monthly calendar, even though these very interconnected pieces of data are all fixed in Word. And then over here, the only way to get the information from here to these people is to email, use a thumb drive, or to upload them to a file sharing site. Now, at the district level, the problem becomes more complex. The district goes, takes the resources, and they say, we're not just going to create lessons and student materials. We're going to create this thing to help you organize it. So that's what I do with Baltimore City. So I create things called scope and sequences, which say Unit 1 is 20 days, and how many days should each lesson take? Then we produce another thing called a curriculum guide, which says for Unit 1, here's some essential questions, some really important things that kids should understand. And then these are, of course, all connected. The outline connects to lessons, weekly calendar, monthly calendar, then the curriculum guide, student materials, monthly calendar. So when I'm writing curriculum, and we want to go and move lesson 1 to lesson 4, it's like a half-hour worth of work. And now we've got to change everything. So we're not focused on creating content for teachers. We're now focused on the technology behind it. So if the current process is this, that educators and districts create in Word, paper and pencil and calendar, and then they have to upload, only then can they share, collaborate, and find resources. And if that's inefficient, not collaborative, and the sharing part is just this waste of time, disorganized, what we're doing with Common Curriculum is we're saying, all right, not use Word. We're going to create a web-based tool to create those resources. Second, we're going to use Dropbox for those times you do need to synchronize files, and we're going to make it social in real time. So educators and districts will then use Common Curriculum. They use the calendar, Dropbox to sync. You can sync changes, collaboratively edit. Then through doing that, you're going to be able to save time, you can be able to collaborate, then you're going to find resources. So what does this look like? So this is the application we're building. And here we have 3 sections to the app. We have the sidebar, we have this tab area, and then we have the workspace. So let's take a look at the sidebar. Is that you can view your own course, you can search for all your materials, you can view your own courses, view colleagues in your school, groups in your school, all the reading teachers, all the math teachers, which think about that right now. If you have all the 8th grade teachers and you have a team meeting, what that looks like is you go to all of those team teachers and you lay out all your material on a table, maybe, or you just kind of BS about it. You're like, I'm doing fractions this week. What are you doing? Oh, it's cool. You're doing fractions too, right? And that's it. Like, you never can really see more than a week ahead. So this, you can view all the groups for a whole school. You can also view your district material, your groups you follow, and friends you follow. So this is the outline view. You can customize a template. You can add a standard. Standard is decided by the state. And so you can align your lesson to some of the state standard. And then you can find resources from the state that address that standard. Add comments so your colleagues can give you feedback. You can add arbitrary tags. You can upload a file, or you can have a file from Dropbox. So if you're in a collaborative environment like what I do in Baltimore City, me and my friends Andy and Christy, we can go and we can put our files in Dropbox. We associate that file once, and no matter how many times we save that, they're automatically synced back and forth. So And then if we go to the timeline view right here, now we can do this planning. We can actually see what we're doing on a week view, see what we're doing on a month view, and finally in a year view. And which is a flexibility in terms of what we can do that we can't have with Word right now. Just hopping over the calendar, September 1st is Labor Day, you click it off, everything flows around it. And then I can view multiple people. So here's me, here's my friend Justin. I can take his lessons, drag them to my course, and now they're in my course, right? I can view Tara's changed my plan, she had some stuff. I can then combine Tara's changes back over to my plan book. Lastly, if Justin, I can see all the forks, just Justin's unit. So if I were to click that button, I can see, all right, here's what Justin wrote, and here's what Jesse did, Mike did, and Tiffany did, all changes to his plan. So, and then once you've done all this, then you can publish it to a website, or you can email it. So if you're a teacher, you're planning for yourself, and then you go, you enter email addresses, and every night, it's gonna email that homework, email out those files to your teachers. So you're doing one thing, you're focusing on planning, then as a byproduct of that, it's publishing it to the web, emailing it to colleagues. So you're able to save time by doing what you do, planning what you do, having us take care of all the stuff in the background. So what's the competition doing? So if you have all these files, you're teaching 4 classes a day, they want you to upload, and upload, and upload. So what we do is we say, we're gonna make your life more efficient, help you do more faster. Thank you.
So, questions, comments, criticisms? Okay, great. Let's pass the mic. I think let's pass this one. You can grab that one. I think it may be a little tight. Where did you go? There you are. Okay. It's this darn pole again. Got to get away from that thing.
Cool idea. I'm glad somebody's doing something to help the situation in the schools. I worked in education, K-12, for a while. I was wondering, is this something that can be adopted by an individual teacher, or is it the entire school or the entire district that has to adopt it?
Yeah, it's both. Individual teacher can use or district. Yep.
Gotcha. And so if a district or a school were to implement it, would there be some sort of data input process up front, like a data loading process, and how does that work?
Yeah, so it all depends on how much material a district has. So if they have a lot, like in Baltimore City, if we were to get a contract with a district of that size, they have literally thousands of files. And so there would be a lot of conversion process that would happen. But if you're a smaller school, you just might not have the materials that, and or you're recreating your curriculum, so you're already going through a change process, and this is just going to be the natural new vehicle for it.
Thank you. I have some contacts for you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah, why don't you use that mic in the middle there? I'll be able to do it. I'm not going to throw this thing.
Yeah, so I noticed you had changes that other people have made to your docs. What about changes over time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. One of the big things is people want to know what they did last year. So you can see, I did in September I did this last year and the year before, or I can see what I did per unit. So maybe I taught a unit in May, and this year I'm teaching it in March. I can see what I did and trace the development of that unit over time.
Okay, and one other thing that, as painful as it is, that Word does have is things like the review view.
Mm-hmm.
To actually see the changes, make the comments in line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something along those lines, or?
Yeah, that whole level of functionality is one we'd love to kind of get into. I think having a more robust commenting feature would be really advantageous. So it's certainly something we're exploring.
Awesome. Anything else? Okay, great. Yes, grab that mic.
Is this site live?
So we have a current site live right now, and we have, could you flip back for a minute?
Oh, comment time.
We have a number of customers using the current site. And this is kind of like version 2. The current site's focused on publishing, and the new site's focused on the actual creation. So here are customers for our current version.
What's your plans for the second version? I mean, in terms of timing?
Timeline? Yeah. So we'd like to release a kind of minimally viable product by September, which is really kind of just focused on daily planning and weekly planning for teachers, and then from that, expand out. We have for the new one, we have a charter school network who gave us a call out of the blue and said, this is fantastic, we want to use it. So we'll be working with them and other charter networks as well to develop the product during next year.
And what's the how do you monetize it?
Yeah, so there are two ways. It's kind of like the small way. Do I have time? Should I say?
Yeah, that's a good last question.
Okay, so two ways. So one, you have 3.5, 4 million teachers in the U.S. You can sell to them individually, which softens the sales cycle. So you're not depending on these really long sales cycles with districts. You can directly sell to a district. However, that's relatively small potatoes. There's $8 billion is spent in curriculum for K through 12 nationally. So that's $8 billion. That's massive. And right now it's owned by 3 large corporations for the most part. And what our hope is that we want to work with like Renew and other charter networks who are really not participating in the market. They're saying we're creating our own stuff. And so what we want to do is not only give them tools to help them do their work better, but give them the tools to either share that material or sell that material. So ultimately, we want to become an app store for curriculum, which is all dependent on us both having the eyeballs of teachers and also us having like curriculum creators themselves. But that's ultimately the big play, is to be an app store for curriculum.
Awesome. Great job.